Here I am, regeneration within this world. Here I am again. I'm not around in the physical since I died, probably about 15 years now. But in the ephemeral, people still ask the questions like, will you be going to Mardi Gras? Now, this one, I have to think about this one very carefully. It's not as easy for me as it is for the cop, say, who is still of this world in flesh and blood. Every now and again, you'll see that sometime I fade in and out of even this camera, which has a special lens to pick me up. So many microwaves cameras cannot pick me up. Am I going to Mardi Gras? Well, the answer to that one is, I think it would be an embarrassment for me to go. And not because of the parade or the people or even the memory of all those mobile cell phones. It's going to shock a few people if I phase in and phase out all the time. Because I am in the eye of letting frighten people, phasing in and out like a ghost. I think I will have to wait in the background politely without frightening the queen. But I can say this in my contribution to the parade, my memories of Mardi Gras in 78. It was called Mardi Gras. It was in fact in celebration of Stonewall in New York the year before, 78, in Sydney, Australia. It was celebratory. It was called Mardi Gras, but it had a political edge to it. And it started down here in King's Cross, not Oxford Street. It had nothing to do with Oxford Street. It was here where we've been doing our pavement talks in Macleay Street and Darlinghurst Road in King's Cross. What happened? Well, it was illegal to be homosexual back then, and the police pincered the crowd, and it was a thuggery, a monicum of thuggery from the police and the authorities. It was a travesty to democracy at the time. When they pincered the crowd in Darlinghurst Road, there was nowhere to run. There were over 1,000 people there, and the police pushed them in from this side and pincered them in this side, and they were squashed. And because they were squashed, they brought in the camera, and it looked like a riot. Why did it look like a riot? Because people were being squeezed into a small position for the media to capture this as people being troublemakers. So the police just had all their paddy wagons there, and they just brutalized the time of their lives in the penitentiary of the basement of the Darlinghurst police station, which is now a psychiatric unit with many ghosts in it. So there is kind of a museum there now where the prison cell was, where they locked up a lot of people there from the 70s for having a celebration in the street. Because it was such a sham and a disgrace to the police, it changed the minds of the government and the people that, like Apex, It was not the people that caused the trouble. It was the police. And in tradition of Sydney, which happens time and time again, when it's not the common people that cause the trouble, it's the police, which goes back to the Rum Rebellion. In 1808, Captain Blight, after the bounty, was trying to bring order to Australia and tried to stop the rum trade. The police turned Sydney into a police state, and they had a riot. The people in the colonies did not cause the riot. Again, it was always the police that caused the riot. It always has been. People get the blame. But it never works. It hasn't worked for the last 200 years in Australia to 2008. It didn't work then. It doesn't work now. And here we are in celebration of the Rum Rebellion and in the celebration of the 78ers in the same year when the police in their thuggery and brutality caused a riot. They have lost the war. Never works, and it never will. That is the good side of the story. That's the bit that I like. What do we have now? Mardi Gras. Democracy itself prevails. That in itself makes it worthy, one of the greatest things worthy of celebrating of anything in Australia. God bless y'all. This way.